Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mad Science Lab on the Fantasy Football Universe. I am Aaron St. Dennis at FF Mad Scientist, joined by one of my co-hosts, SC Romero, at the PPR Show. And for some reason, when I'm on my podcast tab, it cuts off you guys' Twitter handles. That happened earlier with Jeremy. I don't know why it does that. But anyways, how's it going, SC?
Good, man. Good. I'm about to edit that right now just so people know where I'm at.
I don't know why when we switch, it's all in the same StreamYard, but when we switch between our different shows, for some reason, I don't know why it does that when we're not on the main show. So,
it's all good. It's all good. Here to join you, man. Talk about some Houston Texans. Always a fun time being in the Mad Science Lab.
Sweet. We will get right into it. First, we are going to start at quarterback. There is not much controversy here. It is CJ Stroud's job. Finished as QB 13 last year, which is insane to think about because his value is way higher than that right now. And then you look at the numbers and you're like, wow, it wasn't as high as you thought. Like he's going as ADP 5 right now, 5 in ECR. It's got Davis Mills, Case Keenum, Tim Boyle behind him. So there's no competition, but where do you have him? Do you have him closer to the QB 13 he finished or the QB 5 he's going?
Man, if we're talking about dynasty,
no, redraft. Okay. Let's go redraft.
No, redraft. Yeah, I mean, he's still, he's in the top 10 for sure. I just think because the offense is built around him, and really he showed out last year in the sense of being the number 2 overall pick, right? The battle was between him and Bryce Young, who would actually come out, and I think he put all the naysayers to rest. He came out and balled out QB 13 in the rookie season. The sky's the limit. I think he's still going to go out there and ball again. They got some more weapons, some veteran help to him because really last year it was kind of like he was the rookie, but it was still kind of like he had some rookies around him. The wide receiver Nico Collins, the Take Dale. I know Nico Collins is a vet, but Nico Collins never had that quarterback like CJ Stroud to throw to him. Damian Pierce. He was a vet too, but he still didn't really have his feet wet, got injured his rookie season. So they brought in Joe Mixon, Stephen Diggs, which we'll talk about, so that was really good. So I'm excited for him in the Texans offense. I really love what DeMeco Ryans is doing just with that culture there. I have a guy that works with the Texans firsthand, so he just talks about the energy there at every event he goes to is just amazing. And everyone is on board with what DeMeco Ryans wants to do with the organization. And that starts with Stroud, and Stroud's doing it. And I really love everything I'm seeing there.
He kind of scares the shit out of me because like he's a guy at one point I was considering him for my dynasty QB1, and then in redraft he's like a consensus 5 or 6, but I look at him like, 13 last year. I get it. He should take a step forward. He's just one where I'm like, am I over buying in too high here? And I'm trying to not like, I'm diving all in here head first. And then I'm going, wait, maybe I should rein this back because I'm getting kind of crazy, but I don't know. I definitely think he's a top 6, but he's in there. I think he's still for me behind the top 5 of Mahomes. What is it? Mahomes or top 4? Mahomes, Lamar, Hurts, and Allen. So I think he's right there, and I think he's above the next group of what do you want to call it? Burrow, Anthony Richardson. So he's solidly in the top 6 for me. It's just I find the prospect of him absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Moving on to a running back room that is interesting. We have Joe Mixon, who somehow is the quietest RB7 season of all time, going 16th overall, backed up by Damian Pierce, who went from being a top 12 running back to DOA, RB47 last year. We got Jawar Jordan and Dara Gumbawale. Is this just going to be another year of Joe Mixon being the quietest RB1 in history, or how do you think this shakes out?
I mean, possibly, but if I'm being honest, I'm not really buying into any of these running backs. If you want to throw dart throws, I may throw one at Jawar Jordan, because really what people see Damian Pierce is the second on the depth chart. Jawar Jordan could be the pass catching back. He could be that third down back to come in and just get some good pass catches. He can do that. He has some quick speed to him. Mixon, he could have a quiet RB1 season again, but it's a new offensive system. It's a new team. The line in Houston isn't as good as the Bengals. Granted, the Bengals wasn't amazing either, but it's still like I'm just avoiding this. I'd rather have the offensive receivers that he has than the running backs. Especially at cost. Typically, there's guys around him that are better. I've seen Najee go behind Mixon, and I'd rather have Najee. That, but I just don't know what to expect there, and I think it's going to be more of a heavy passing volume offense. So I'll take the wide receivers over the running backs.
Yeah, and that's where it kind of gets pretty interesting here. We go to the wide receiver room that suddenly is very crowded. Remember a year ago when everyone said we're avoiding the Texans offense? Now there's like
Yeah,
12 players we're drafting. So
right.
Nico's going highest right now at 12. ADP is wide receiver 12. Stephon Diggs, wide receiver 19. Tank Dell at 30. Noah Brown, Robert Woods, John Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson, Ben Skoranek, Steve Sims Jr., and some guy I've never heard of. What's your
Mhm.
thoughts here? I have Nico as the guy I'm targeting, but how about you?
I mean, I really like Dell. Stroud loves Dell. Stroud talks about Dell all the time, that that's his boy. So I really think that connection, if Dell is healthy, that's the guy that you want to target. I think that's gonna be Stroud's guy. Nico, man, I know Nico got the contract. My worry is at least this year, because Diggs is on that 1 year, right? At least this year, Diggs is gonna cause more damage to Nico than Tank Dell or anything. Tank Dell's safe, but Diggs is gonna be that X, and he's gonna be that guy that is gonna be the one there, regardless of what they did with him. And even though Nico's it, I feel they extended him and say, hey, learn from Diggs, learn how to be this top guy here moving forward and get this all right. So that way we can push Diggs out after next season. Maybe he goes to Dallas, be with a brother or something like that. But I think Diggs is gonna be the guy that is really going to teach and be Stroud's number one as far as the X factor. But then you have Dell, who I really think is going to feed off of Diggs and Nico being two guys, elite guys on the end. That Dell's going to eat everything in the middle and even underneath with just his quick speed and his shortness. Honestly, being such a smaller guy, it's going to be easier for him to just get open and maneuver around the defenses. So if I'm picking right now, I'd say Dell, Diggs, then Nico for me.
Oh, that's funny. I think I have it the opposite. Actually, no, I don't. I have it Nico, Dell, and then Diggs. But I think Nico I like the most. Dell I would draft next because he's the cheapest. Diggs is kind of the one where I don't like him as much, and he's not the cheapest, so that's why
Yeah.
I'm the odd man out for him. Next, we've got the tight end position. Dalton Schultz finished as tight end 12, going as 14. Then we got a bunch of guys off the radar. Brevin Jordan, Cade Stover, who I didn't hate.
Mhm.
Tegan Quatoriano, Andrew Beck. What are your thoughts here on Schultz? I know he's been a high volume guy, and that's pretty much why he's been relevant. I
Mhm.
can't see him still being a high volume guy. Like he looks to be the foot possibly fifth in targets behind the three
Right.
receivers in Mixon. Like
Right.
this has the makings of who was it? I want to say, was it Austin Hooper who finished as like tight
Yeah.
end 4 and then fucking fell right off the map the next year?
Yeah.
That is the possibility here. But what do you think of the tight end room here?
I do like Salts, not to have him as your tight end one. I think he's a great streamer though, because in a good matchup, he could definitely do well. The tight end I'm targeting is really Cade Stover, the rookie that they just drafted this year.
You're talking Devi or dynasty or redraft? You're talking target him for
Oh,
like a stash, right?
yeah, stash. So yeah, so
Yeah.
redraft then. Yeah, so Salts, I like him. It always comes down, right? If you're not drafting the top, we're gonna say top six right now. Because if you're not getting Kittle, Kelsey, Mark Andrews, and then Kincaid, Pitts, or McBride, it really becomes. I mean, you could throw in Hawkinson, so seven, but I mean, Hawkinson's out for half the season, so
Yeah,
never
I
mind.
don't
So
throw in
six,
Hawkinson.
yeah.
He's out
So
for half the year, so
top six. If you're not getting those, you're really punting on the position, and you're really streaming. So when I say that, I like Dalton Schultz as a streamer. People like Evan Ingram, but to be honest, Ingram's in a more crowded room than Schultz is. So I really like the idea of having him as a late streaming option. You pair him with maybe you can get an Njoku, right, or something like that. But I like him. He's not going to get the same targets they did because they brought in Diggs, but I
yeah.
still think he has a chemistry with them, and they re-signed him too, so he's on there for him. So they obviously are invested into him, and that's why I like him as a late tight end throw for your redraft leagues as well.
All right, moment of truth. What is a target and an avoid on this team at what you think is their current price? Give or take
Yeah.
a little bit.
So target, I mean, you want to say Stroud, but that's a heavy target. So I mean, we'll say Joe Mixon. Or no, excuse
Yeah.
me, that's an avoid. I would say avoid is Mixon.
Oh,
Just
really? I think
yeah.
I think he's pretty cheap. Like he just went in one of our drafts in like the ninth or 10th round. I don't mind mixing at like he's going wide receiver or running back 16. He was 7 last year.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't mind him, but sorry, go ahead. Target and avoid.
No, yes, I just say avoid just because I don't know what this offense will be with the running game. I know Mixon's a stronger back. He's also one of the older ones, and a lot of times when you see those older backs transition to a new team for the first time after their whole career has been in one, that's when you typically see that drop off. So that worries me a little bit.
Zeke.
The Yeah, exactly. Everyone really. I mean, you even talk about Dalvin Cook, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone just they had that drop off regardless of how they finished the year before. Stephon Diggs, man, I really like him. I think again, just for the year, if you're talking redraft, I think this is the way to go. Dynasty, obviously, buying to Dylan Collins, but Diggs, I think he's gonna go in there and year contract. This isn't really the contract year to say, hey, you give me the extension or let me go get paid somewhere else. But I think he's gonna do well for Stroud, elevate Stroud's game a little bit more. Don't forget when Diggs went to Buffalo, Josh Allen skyrocketed. He went up, and I could see the same thing happening for Stroud and just having that guy that can gain the separation, has some great hands, just becomes a reliable target, can stretch the field, really just versatile, line up wherever you want. I think they can do that with Diggs. And if they're creative enough, he can definitely still have a wide receiver one type of season.
So you're targeting Diggs and avoiding Mixon?
Yeah, those would be my guys.
All right, now we will get to the schedule. I'll go game by game here, and you just tell me win or lose.
Yep.
Week 1 at the Colts.
Win.
Week 2 home against the Bears.
They'll win.
Week 3 at the Vikings.
That might be tough with defense, but I'm gonna give them the win.
Yeah, I don't think that one will be as tough as you think. But week 4 home to the Jags.
We'll win that too.
Week 5 home against the Bills.
That's gonna be a shootout, but I'm gonna give the edge to the Texans defense, which Allen not having a one, so I think they're 5-0 right now.
Week 6 at New England.
This one will be tough. I want to say
no,
it's at New England, so it might be something crazy, but I'm gonna give it to New England or not to Texans.
Week 7 at Green Bay. That could be tough.
Green Bay, they'll lose to Green Bay at Green Bay.
Okay, so that's 6-1.
Yeah.
All right. Week 8, home to the Colts.
I think they'll win this. They'll sweep the Colts this year.
Nice. Week 9 home. Oh yeah, week 9 at the Jets.
Man, I guess this will depend on Aaron Rodgers, right? Let's give them the L against the Jets.
Okay, 7-2. Week 10 home to the Lions.
That's gonna be an L too. That's gonna be a hard loss. That's gonna be a low.
They get a little bit of a tough run here. Week 11 at Dallas.
I think they beat that one. It's at Dallas though, but they're gonna best team in Texas.
It's the same state. Week 12 home to the Titans.
Win.
Okay, 9-3. Week 13 at Jacksonville.
This one they'll lose. They'll split it with Jacksonville.
9-4. So they go into the bye week 9-4. They come out of it week 15 home to the Dolphins.
Oh, that one's gonna be. The Dolphins will come in and beat them
off the bye week.
Yeah, they'll beat them off the bye week.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought they'd win there, but okay. Week 16. Oh, that's not nice. Week 16 at the Chiefs.
They're gonna go in and beat Kansas City. Let's go.
Jeez. Week 17 against the Ravens. Home against the Ravens.
They'll win that. That's gonna be a huge game. That's gonna be big coming off the win and having those double. That 3 strengths, losing to the Dolphins on the bye week, they're gonna have something to prove, and they're gonna beat KC and
back-to-back wins against KC and Baltimore, and they close it out at Tennessee.
And they'll win that too.
So you have them going 12-5. I swear everyone who's done one of these projections for their team says 12-5. So every team in the NFL is going to go 12-5, except for the Patriots. Jeremy had them winning like 3 games. So well, thank you for joining me, SC. If you guys want, we go to the Fantasy Football Universe. We have these individual team pages, shows where they finished last year. We've got schedules. We've got offensive depth chart, defensive depth chart. Then down here, we've got our little weather widget. It is live. It updates automatically. We don't have to do anything. So come game time, week 1, that'll be interesting. You know, if you have weather concerns, if you got a kicker and you want to know the wind up here or what game's going to rain or snow eventually, come to fantasyfootballuniverse.com and we can help you out there. Obviously, in this one, I think that's it. It says, retractable roof. So that one will tell you, ignore this possibly because the fucking roof might be closed. But Check back tomorrow on our YouTube channel. We will be dealing with, I believe it's Kyle Senra and the Green Bay Packers, but don't quote me on that. Schedule has been known to change. So again, thank you to SC for joining me and breaking down his
brother.
Texans. And thank you all for tuning in to the Fantasy Football Universe. Once again, this has been the Mad Science Lab podcast. Take care, everyone, and have a great night.